Terri Levine's coaching clients call her the Wisdom Wizard, and for good reason. As an entrepreneur, Terri compiled an impressive track record of growing million-dollar businesses. As a sales and marketing professional, Terri quickly rose to become #1 in national sales. As an executive within the rehabilitation industry, she created one astounding success after another. As a coach, Terri listens deeply to her clients, ranging from CEOs and small business owners to professionals, and becomes their partner in discovering better ways to grow profitable businesses, restore balance in life, and bring greater joy to each day. Terri is the founder of Comprehensive Coaching U, the professionals coach training program. Terri attracted 30 clients in 15 days when she began her coaching career, synthesizing the knowledge and wisdom of every leading marketing guru, philosophy, and process to create a result-oriented, step-by-step approach for those who have a burning desire to reach their greatest potential in income and fulfillment in the field of coaching. Terri, a popular public speaker, is also a successful author, and her much-acclaimed book, Work Yourself Happy, published in the summer of 2000, is an example of her own coaching work and her client success stories. Her second book, Coaching for an Extraordinary Life, was published in October 2001 and brings the tools of the coaching industry to ordinary people so that all may enjoy a better and quality of life. I'm stuttering here. I also know that she came out with a new book, which is Stop Managing and Start Coaching. And that one reads
let's
the
not
top
stop
as well.
coaching.
Yeah. For my own personal introduction, I was actually introduced to Terri's work almost a year and a half ago through one of the coaching programs that I was in. And what I was most impressed with was her calm and caring yet focused manner. It was really made me feel like she was truly listening to me. I met her for the first time in LA in October of last year, and it was there that I got to find out really how caring she was. Terri, you don't know this, but you made me feel incredibly special when you took the time to seek me out to say hello. I had the intention of finding you and saying hi, because that was one of my goals for going to LA, was to actually meet you. And that was an absolutely awesome experience, and I was truly honored to get to know you even better when we were at the Spiritual Marketing Super Summit together. So I am truly honored to introduce you to Terri Levine. Welcome, Terri.
Thank you so much, and thanks for that intro. That was like more than I knew about myself, so thank you.
So the first question that I have for you, and I really have grown to like this question for what it manages to bring out. What is the single most valuable lesson you've learned about abundance, and what makes that so valuable for you?
By the way, that's a powerful coaching question. So it's really an excellent question. Boy, I could talk about that forever. I'm going to try and be succinct here. It is that the more that I believe in abundance, even when there's no evidence of abundance, the more that abundance has come to me. And let me try and give you something more concrete around that. And it has been a life-changing lesson. Years ago, when my husband and I first got married, and we were pretty young, we had debt from college. We moved from New Jersey to Indiana, and we could barely afford a one-bedroom apartment, and both had these cars that, half the time you weren't sure if they were going to run. And I held this very strong belief that whoever put us on this universe put us here to enjoy all the great things that were out there, and the things, the experiences, the people, the opportunities, as well as many things that I thought I would be able to do with money, including buy things and go places, but also to contribute to organizations and people. And so I kept holding this vision that there's got to be prosperity and there's got to be abundance, and it's got to be there for all of us. And so when we had no money, I was talking about things like we're going to have a house, and I'm going to get a sports car, and we're going to go on a cruise. And, people would sort of look at me like, you guys are barely able to put your car payment together. And I really believed it. So what happened for me is the dream, Velma, the desire, the vision just became clearer and clearer. I could see it, I could feel it, I could taste it, I could touch it. And I even began to talk about it with more clarity. And I can remember an example of saying to my husband, it was like in December, I really think that we should book a cruise now because in December I'm going to have the money. In June we're going to have the money. We're going to pay for it. He's like, "What are you talking about?" Like, no, we're definitely going. I just know it. And the manifestation in my life of not just dollars in terms of prosperity, but people and resources and events and information I've longed for. I have found that whenever I believe it, it always manifests. And just very quickly, we went from really, really, really struggling to being pretty darn prosperous in less than 12 months. So what I'm sharing here is kind of a lengthy answer is believing it, feeling it, seeing it, and really understanding that the universe has put things here, people, resources, money, information, whatever it is that you want, and it is abundantly there if you believe it.
Okay, that makes total sense to me. I did spend some time flipping through your book, Work Yourself Happy, because I think that's a goal that many of us really, really strive for, whether it's working for ourselves or working for others. And some of the things that really stood out for me, one of them was your secret number 4, create a destination with soul. You started out by saying, just as change begins with an ending, change ends with a new beginning. Set your sights on a place where your head is in alignment with your heart, a place built upon the solid foundation of your values, special gifts, and unique gifts, special skills and unique gifts. And you talked a little bit about an ideal life exercise. Can you say a little more about that?
Oh, I'm so glad you asked me about this. It's just funny, even on radio and TV interviews, for some reason, they don't go into this in depth, and this is so important. Wow, thank you. I'm always fascinated how people that I meet or that become coaching clients or students in my school or whatever talk to me about their goals. And so much of the time what I hear is not a goal that has soul. And it goes something like this. I'm going to start a new business as a blankety blank, and I'm going to finish this training that I'm in, and someday I'm going to write a book, and it'd be really cool to have more time with my family, and I want to send my kids to college. And I'm like, that is absolutely not a soulful destination. When we have a soulful destination, it is your passion. It is your vision. There's no way you would wake up in the morning and not be thinking about that and resonating with that, and your heart and your brain and every inch of your body excited about that. So I'm going to use kind of a weird analogy, but maybe this will land. It certainly changed my life. As some of you know who might have read my book, Create Your Ideal Body, I used to be significantly overweight, and I took that weight off. Gosh, it's actually almost 7 years ago now. I was corrected about that. And not just took it off easily and effortlessly, but I've kept it off without any problem for 7 years, really easily. And what changed was that became a really important soulful destination for me. When I used to go on a quote-unquote diet, I used to go, I really need to lose weight. I got to eat cottage cheese. I really have to stop eating so many cookies. And it was not fun, and it was not really meaningful. And one day, when I got much more clear years later and said, this is about being healthy and having longevity and having wellness and being appreciative to whoever created me for having a body and really using it and loving it and decorating it as my own house, then I got really excited and thought, oh man, Terri, how'd you miss that? That's so important. And all of a sudden, I started to eat differently and make different choices, and people would go, how are you doing this? What diet are you on? I'm like, I'm not dieting anymore. I gave that up. It was soulful. It got integrated, Velma, in my body and my mind and my cells, and it became that important. So whenever someone wants something and really desires something, I say to them, A, make sure you really want it. B, amp it up. Get so excited about it that it becomes your vision and your mission. You can only have what you want when you know what you want. I'm going to say that again. I know that sounds weird. You can only have what you want when you know what you want. I think most of us walk around giving the universe mixed signals. Oh, I really want to have my own business. Oh, maybe I won't do well. No, maybe not. And it's like this gas brake thing. Oh, give me that. Oh, maybe don't. And people go back and forth, and I think the universe is like, I'm not sure what you really want, so I'll just wait. It's like you tune the radio dial, and you're between two stations, and you don't get a clear signal. So what I advocate in a soulful, meaningful destination is really be a choice, get excited and energetic and passionate about what you desire, and live as if tomorrow were your last day. Or actually, I live as if this moment were my last moment. And you will get to your destination with joy and ease.
Excellent.
I'm really glad you asked me that. Thank you. If you couldn't tell.
There was something else that stood out for me. It was in the, I don't even remember which chapter it was, but it was, you were speaking about extraordinary self-care. And actually, I read it more as extraordinary self-care.
Yeah. You read it right.
And I really like what you said about that, because I know with myself being in the position of being a mom, being an entrepreneur, still working with my JOBs, there leaves very little time for me to take extraordinary care of myself, even though my mind knows that it's very, very significantly important. How do you help people to find that balance with respect to being able to take extraordinary care of yourself?
That's a wonderful question, and it's something that I think people really have trouble with, and when they get it and they do it and they really get it, it is life-changing. So when I do talk about extraordinary, it is extraordinary. A lot of people that I meet tell me they do these wonderful self-care things, like, oh, I get a massage once a month, or, I get my hair done, or, oh, I spend time with the kids playing basketball, or whatever. It's like, oh, I really do that. But in the day-to-day scheme of things, we really, as human beings, need to be above and beyond for ourselves. And none of those things, to me, are extraordinary. They're just routine. They're part of living. I'd expect you to go shoot baskets with your kids and get a massage and do your nails, or I expect you to do that stuff. Extraordinary is something like, and I'll give you my practice and what my clients all learn from me, which is take one day a week. Oh, and by the way, people always cheat here. I almost always have to say this. A day is 24 hours, midnight to midnight. I've had people go, well, it took 9 to 5. That's a day. No, midnight to midnight. No cheating. It's 24 hours where you do absolutely, and I want people to really get this, absolutely nothing but care for you. Now, you're probably thinking of a million reasons why you can't do this. Oh, sure, Terri, you don't have 3 kids. Oh, you don't have this, you don't have that. I will say to you, I don't care what you have, because I've taught this method easily to more than 5,000 people in the last 6 years, and they have the same kind of excuses you have, and some of them might have even larger ones, and they've all done it, so you can do it too. I'm not going to ask people to start immediately. I ask people to start with baby steps. So extraordinary self-care, let's just make sure you get it, 24 hours, midnight to midnight. You focus on nothing and no one else but you. If you have to get a babysitter, get a babysitter. If you have to have someone do your errands, pay them to do it. If you need someone to come clean your house, do it. If you have to say no to social obligations, say it. If work has to be eliminated for one day, believe me, we all think it's so critical. It isn't. It doesn't make the world go around. I'm just going to digress for a minute and make a statement that was a learning experience for me. But so many people think that, like, work is so important. Oh, I have to go to work. I'm really needed at work. People really need me. And if you think back on 9/11 and how many people didn't work or couldn't work or weren't able to work, interestingly enough, the world still kept moving. It became September 12th and the 13th, and life went on. Your work is not the most important thing. In fact, I don't care who you are in a company, but each and every one of us could be replaced in a moment. So all of us are expendable. I'm sorry to put that out there, but it feels important. This is the reason I advocate you don't put off these extraordinary self-care days. I said earlier, we don't know when we're leaving the planet. I do not know. I know what my birthday is, but I don't know what my date of death will be. I didn't come tagged with like a little label that said, Terri, you have this many days, enjoy them. I don't know. So I live each moment as if this is it, baby. Enjoy it. On my self-care days, I have white space. I wake up in the morning, I don't have a clue what I'm going to do. I can tell you what I'm not going to do. I'm not going to do email. I'm not going to do social obligations. I'm not going to do errands. Run around with a dry cleaning. In most of the days, I don't even answer the phone. There's white space. I get up in the morning and go, golly gee, someone gave me 24 hours. What in this moment do I feel like doing? Maybe it's, gosh, I feel like taking a walk. Then I finish the walk and go, what in this moment would feel great and best for me? And I go, you know what? I'm going to go back to bed and take a nap. And I'm just making stuff up because every day is different. I'm asking everyone who hears this information to take an inspired action, Velma. I'm asking them to immediately and instantly plan one of these days. Now, we're going to go for one a week, but I'm going to ask you to plan one, just one, in the next 30 days. Get out your calendar, your Palm Pilot, no excuses. Plan one. And if you're going, there's no way I could do 24 hours, start with 2 hours. Baby step into this. There is nothing in my life experience, nor my clients, from all the testimonials that they send in about this, that is as life-rewarding, life-changing, and nourishing as putting you first.
I really liked the lists that you put out there as well with respect to some of the things that you can do for extraordinary self-care.
Mm-hmm.
You put some things that were monthly, which were some of the ones that you addressed with respect to facials, massages, that kind of thing, and your weekly ones. And I was looking at the list of, you said, how many of the following do you perform daily? And, I took a look at that list, and I'd be lucky if I did a third of them.
Mm-hmm.
And it really made me sit down and think, I wonder how much I'm teaching my son by not doing some of these things for myself. And it really got me thinking. I started riding my bike 10 minutes a day, just for me. I get to read a book that I want to read when I ride my bike, and I take a 20-minute shower in the morning just for me,
mm-hmm.
where I just sit very quietly by myself, enjoy the steam, and wake up slowly. So I'm trying to implement some of those things for myself, and like you said, baby steps.
That's great to hear. Good for you.
And speaking of baby steps, that totally leads into my next question.
Okay, great.
In the section that you called Life 101, Suggestions for a Happier Life, you spoke about Dr. Deming's things that he implemented in Japan. They called it the Kaizen exercise?
Kaizen, mm-hmm. Yes.
Kaizen exercise?
Yes.
Where you strive to make small incremental improvements in every area of your life each day.
Yes.
And that really, as we spoke about, was baby steps to me, and I did that. I did the small little things for me, just to get a start on it. And could you say just a little bit more about how much of a difference something like this can make?
Yeah, this is huge. So many people procrastinate or don't take action, or what a lot of clients will say to me is, I'm stuck, because what they're trying to do is too big. here's an example. Let's say you're going to write a book and you're really excited about it. All of a sudden, things run through your head like, oh my gosh, do you start with an outline? Do we write one chapter at a time? Do we need an agent first? Maybe I should take a look at printing costs. Now, how long does the book have to be? And if we can keep going on, because the human brain, after 17 seconds, just keeps pulling in more and more like-minded thoughts, so all of a sudden your writing a book idea probably has hundreds of thoughts, many you're not even cognizant of, that are really making this project seem huge. And so we go, I don't even know the first step to take. And typically what happens is we do nothing. What happens in taking small incremental action, and I refer to it a lot as inspired action, is to just say, what is one thing, that I can do that takes 2 minutes? I really want people to get this. I'm not talking about a huge, monumental, burning bush kind of thing. An inspired action that will take 2 minutes and will move you forward, that will move your idea, your thought, your concept forward. An inspired action, 2 minutes or less. And here's what people tell me, Velma, and it happens in my own life. You take a 2-minute action, and typically I even use a sand timer when I do it. I'll go, gosh, there was 2 minutes, I'm not even done. I'm going to do 4 minutes. Or, oh, but I have another idea that I could do now, and that will take 2 minutes. And the next thing I know is all of a sudden I'm taking some action. And what typically happens with human beings, this great thing about us, is as we start to take action and we start to move forward, our brain starts to get inspired and gives us momentum. So that's what I want people to take from this is 2-minute inspired actions. Just take an action each day. That's easy. That's effortless. Go for it.
Yeah, I have just one more question. And you spoke at the very beginning that having the belief was the biggest part of abundance for you, the lesson of abundance. And what I'd like to know is, what if you bump into something where it's you want a belief, but your self-talk says, don't be ridiculous, that'll never happen, kind of a thing?
Good question, and boy, has that ever happened to anyone? Yeah, I've got some of that old self-talk too. I'm human too, and it happens. So a couple of things. First of all, let it happen. And what I mean by that is don't resist it. Don't go, oh my gosh, I better have none of that self-talk. Oh, there it comes, better get rid of it. Because now what you're doing is you're pushing against. And anytime you push against and you create resistance, it actually creates more of that, more of that, more of that. What I do is kind of lovingly go, oh, there's that old story, or there's that old program, or oops, that belief showed up. I even name them sometimes. I have one that I call the purple dragon. It's like, oh, there's the purple dragon. Purple's my favorite color. And so the first thing I say is kind of lovingly just notice it. Oh, there it is. As I say to one of my business colleagues, I'm doing that thing that I do, which means the old program played somehow. Instead of listening to today's CD, an 8-track got put in that I really don't want to hear anymore. I really dated myself with an 8-track here. So what I do is I actually have a belief process that works wonderfully, and I'm going to share it. I don't typically share this without people being on a lengthy program, Velma, but I think from just being here today, this will help people. So I'm going to share this. Take out either a piece of paper or be at your computer and just imagine doing this with me. Anytime you notice that old belief like, oh, sure, you're going to be able to go on a cruise in June and you have no money now, or, oh, well, you don't have any clients yet and you thought you were going to have some, or you're never going to really have that sports car, stop dreaming, or you can't send your kids to Harvard, what are you thinking about? Any of those beliefs. I don't know if any of them sound familiar, or it could be about something that's a different kind of prosperity. So don't always think about prosperity being money. Prosperity can be friendships, relationships, partners, many, many things. On this piece of paper or at your computer, divide that paper into 3 columns. You will have the far left column, which will be your current belief column. skip the middle for right now. Go to the far right column and put that as your ideal belief. And what I recommend is every time one of these current beliefs surfaces up that you really don't want to hear that recording anymore, you go to the paper or go to your computer, and in the left-hand column you jot down that old story. You don't spend a lot of time in analyzing it or saying, where did I learn that? Why do I still have it? Just write it down. I'm not going to be able to afford a cruise in June. So I write that down. Then jump over to the far right column. And just imagine I've given you all a wonderful little wand, a magic wand, and that belief is magically gone, and you can replace it with the new belief that you want. Now you write down the new belief. So the new belief might be, not only did I manifest the cruise, but plenty of spending money. So you write that down. Now here's what's important, because this is different than an affirmation. In an affirmation, and I use a weight example here because it's a little easier and visual to get. Let's say that I was 50 pounds overweight, which, by the way, I was. And let's say I stood in front of the mirror and did an affirmation that went something like, oh, I weigh 105 pounds. What would have happened is my brain would have been, no, you don't. You'll weigh like 155 pounds, and you look awful, and oh my gosh, what's wrong with you? So instead of making me feel motivated, in my experience, and this is for a lot of my clients, affirmations actually make us feel worse. They bring up lack. We want to bring up prosperity. So we've got our current belief that's not quite right yet. We've got our magical belief that we certainly don't believe yet. Now let's look at the middle column. The middle column is what I call a bridge belief. And remember, we talked about baby steps, and Velma brought that up brilliantly. So what I want you to think about is the tiniest baby shoe or baby foot you can imagine. And I mean tiny. We're not talking like a 3-year-old, because people usually try and take bigger steps than they're supposed to. Come up with a belief that feels a little bit better than your current belief. So if my current belief was, you're not going to be able to afford a cruise by June, and my wish upon a star belief is, I manifested the cruise and plenty of spending money, my bridge belief might be something as small as, well, I have $10 in my wallet already, or $2, or, oh, I found 10 cents at the mall. It has to be that small, and the reason I want it to be that small is when you really believe that, you go, oh, I really believe that. What's something a little bit bigger that I could believe? And then the one other thing I want each of you to do is then every single day look for evidence that supports your bridge belief. So, oh, I have $10 in my wallet today. I go back, I reread my bridge beliefs tomorrow, and I go, oh, and I just got extra change back today, and I actually have $12 now. Oh, that's cool. I'm up to $12. And all you're going to do is baby step, baby step, baby step, and pretty soon you'll have built a bridge from that record or tape or CD or 8-track that's been playing over to the new story. Did you follow that process? Was that clear?
That was definitely clear.
Good. Good.
Definitely. I do have actually one more question, and it's something that has come up repeatedly in all conversations when I spew at you every once in a while. Typically what, in conversations we've had when I said, this and this and this and this and this is going on for me, you'll listen to what I have to say, but pretty much the first thing out of your mouth after you acknowledge what I say is, okay, now what is working?
Yes. Yes.
Can you tell me a little bit about why you do that and the importance behind it?
Yes, and that really did sound like me, Velma. So, human beings, back to how we're kind of hardwired again, we're problem-focused. The way we're wired is to fix things. Oh, there's a problem, I need to fix it. I have somebody doing some work in my kitchen, and he said, what do you think? Instead of noticing the 90% of the things that are unbelievably done, what's the first thing I noticed? I noticed that one of the cabinets wasn't closed properly. That is a human being kind of thing. We go to a problem first. In fact, if you really got into, there's a way to do this, and I wish I had the technology, but to put a tape recorder in your brain and hear what your subconscious self-talk is saying. Somewhere between 70 to 90%, these are scary numbers, at least 70, and some researchers say up to 90% of the self-talk is negative. It's problems. Oh, I'm going to be late for an appointment. Oh, there's a lot of traffic. Oh, my goodness, it sounds like I have something wrong with my tire. It's nonstop negative. So the reason I will immediately ask people in my experience, what's working, what is going right, is to help them shift the energy to become positive and creative and appreciative of what is abundantly and magnificently and perfectly going right. Because if you think about it, this universe is amazing. The sun somehow comes out. We see the moon. Gets light during the day, dark at night. There's stars. We have electricity. We have gasoline. We have clothing. Our bodies were designed with hair and nails and legs to make us move. If you start thinking about all of the magical abundance and wonders of this universe, oh my goodness, you could go on forever, but you don't. And I know I'm generalizing, but the average human being that I've met goes on with what's wrong. Oh, it's too cold. Oh, it's too hot. Oh, I wish my house was bigger. It's problem focused. So my goal, and really if I can just leave one impact on this universe before I leave, is to have more people getting the power of asking themselves. It's really a self-coaching question. What is working? What is going right? Stop beating yourself up and start loving yourself more. Keep an evidence journal of everything that goes right every day. When I first started this, I remember I sat there for like 20 minutes. Oh, what's going right? A really bad day. I can't think of anything. I could write 50 pages a night about what's going right. And I'm going to give you one other, sort of secret here. I have one of my nieces and one of my nephews staying with me this week as they're off on their school vacation. And they were really interested yesterday after I was done working to tell me everything that was wrong with their day. How they went to see this one movie, but it was sold out. They had to see this other one. And the restaurant they wanted to go to was too long of a line. And I was like, woohoo, hello, stop. What did go right? What did go well? What are you excited about? What was extraordinary that happened? And they both looked at me like, what the heck are you talking about, Aunt Terri? And I said, come on, you guys. I need 10 things from each of you about what's working, what went right, and what you appreciate. They finally came up with their 10, and I will tell you, this did not take 5 minutes. It took a while. And once they did, they thought of more and more and more. And that's the power of that question. It gets you back to appreciation, to feeling prosperous, and to feeling better mentally and physically. It brings you into alignment.
Perfect.
Thank you for asking that.
Well, that's about it for the questions that I have. Is there anyone in the audience who would like to ask a question?
Come on, gang. You don't have access live to me too much. Please ask away. I don't do many of these, so ask away.
Terri, I have a question for you.
Sure.
I was wondering what advice you would give to someone, namely myself, who is really confused in terms of their passion and their purpose.
Who's asking me this?
My name's Eileen.
Thanks, Eileen. I'd just love to know who I'm talking to. Thank you so much. And thanks for asking. So I'm hearing that you're feeling confused about your passion and your purpose, yes?
Yes.
So let's first define, if you could, so that we're on the same page. What is purpose for you, and then what is passion for you?
I would think, for me, I guess purpose is feeling as if I'm doing what I came here to do, from a spiritual type of a place. And passion is waking up every day, like you were talking about so excitedly before, waking up and feeling just excited about what you're doing.
Great description. Thank you. So I hear that you have the clarity about what it is that you do want. In other words, you really want to feel the passion and the purpose.
Yes.
I'm going to put something out to you that might sound a little weird, but just are you willing to play with me on it?
Definitely.
Cool. Let's say that you were going to attend your own funeral many years from now. And someone was going to stand up and they were going to tell what impact you had had. Any idea of what you might want to hear?
Just that I, was somebody that had contributed and helped others. And see, this is where I get caught up in the trap.
Well, let me just stop
okay.
you and say, don't worry about getting caught up. Just keep going.
Okay.
Thank you. Keep going. Good.
Somebody that had contributed a lot, that had helped others.
And in what ways might have you helped others? Now, they're talking about you. What are they saying?
Maybe helped others to find their purpose in life.
Great.
Yeah.
Keep going. What else are they saying?
See, this is where I feel a little stuck.
This is my gut, that you're sort of in your head and not using your heart.
Okay.
So I don't know if this will help you, but this is what I do, so I'll share it. Sometimes I just close my eyes.
Okay.
I really want you to vision with me. So we're overseeing this, and there's lots and lots of people. And while they're sad to have you physically no longer be with them, they are so thankful that you touched their lives. What are they saying?
Someone that was a great communicator and writer, that really cared about people and helped people in their times of need.
Great. Keep going. A little more. Keep going.
It's someone that woke up every day and was just excited and very present and in the moment and engaged.
Beautiful. I'll stop you there. And if we were coaching together, I would probably have you do this with me, at least 30 minutes.
Okay.
And let me just kind of tell you what I got from that.
Okay.
First, good job in opening up and being willing to share. Second, as you let your head get quiet, I really heard you start tapping into more things, like the writing, like how you would touch people. So what I would love for you to do is, first of all, to approach this more as play than work, because it sounds like, oh my gosh, got to roll up my sleeves and find my passion, I don't know, when you first said it, it sounded to me like this is going to be hard work.
Yeah.
And so my request is that you get in a really playful place around this. Really playful. It's going to be joyful and easy and effortless. And I'll share with you some things that work for some people, and I would ask you not to take all of these, but pick and choose some that you think might work for you.
Okay.
One would be to draw out things that you're passionate about. Another would be to just meditate or visualize it. Another would be to write it down. One of the ways I do it, you might notice I like to talk, so one of the ways I do it is I just talk my passion into a tape recorder. Like, what the heck is passion? Oh, passion is this, and oh yeah, I'm passionate about that. And the next thing I knew is all of this stuff was out there and I could figure it out. The next thing I really would ask you to do is do this exercise for yourself that we started. Really go back, and my request is you make it like a movie. You're really standing there and you're hearing these people, and really write down what they're saying.
Okay.
And then the last thing, is this too much at once, or are you
No,
still good?
no.
Okay, great.
It's great.
The last one that I would offer to you is go back and kind of write an autobiography of your life so far. I like to take it in decades and write down the things that are most meaningful. Could be people, places, experiences, something you did, and just start to notice the things that are most important.
Okay.
And the final thing that I want to offer to you is I believe that already in your heart, your passion and purpose are there. So it's just getting rid of your head. You can put it here on my desk. I'll hold it for you. And it will pop right out.
Thank you so much, Terri.
You're welcome.
That's
My
amazing.
pleasure. And I thank you for asking.
Yeah, I really appreciate it.
My pleasure.
Great, thank you. Is there anybody else out there who has a question for Terri? We've got just probably at the most another 10 minutes of her time, so we might as well take advantage of her.
Please do. If not, Velma, I had a couple of thoughts that I'd be happy to share. So, if anybody, I'll just give one more moment. If anybody wants to ask me something, please do. If not, I had a couple of other things that I'd be delighted to share.
Definitely. Thank you.
Great. So I'm going to give a couple of the things that I've learned that really allow prosperity to happen faster. And I just really like for people to let this in, breathe it in, let it get into you. And if there's anything I say that you're resisting or you think, oh my gosh, I'm not sure about that, my request is you just try it on. Try it on. So one of the things that I've learned about prosperity is you've got to do some releasing before prosperity comes. What I mean by that is you got to get rid of what you don't want in order to make room for what you do want. So many people talk about what they do want, but they're walking around with all of their don't wants. I'll give you an example. I'm back to the weight thing, but, I don't want to be overweight. And what was I doing? I was actually buying larger clothes. Well, I know I'm going to need that next month. And that was just, again, sort of continuing the process. So I really ask people to take a look at what you have to let go of. It might be beliefs. It might be some items. It might be people in your life. It might even be in your body. Cleanse your body. Get rid of stuff. Take some time and clear your mind. It might be sort of a spiritual cleaning out. It might be finishing things like, I don't know, messy garage or some errands or some relationship you're not complete with. It might be anger or resentment. But you've got to let go, because what happens is then as you let stuff go, your prosperity consciousness opens up. So that's a really important one that I wanted to mention. And I guess there's one other that I felt was important and hoped we'd get to, so we are. How about that, manifesting what we want? And that is really, simple and easy, and certainly we have to talk about it. It's the law of attraction. We attract what we are. We attract what we are. Look around you right now. This is like an ouchie. Sometimes this really hurts, gang, so I'll tell you in advance. Look around and see what you've attracted in your life. And if you have some stuff that you don't want, I will say to you, there's the ouch part, you attracted it. You have no one to thank for it but you. If you're in a bad relationship, if you're having a health problem, if you're having a financial problem, you attracted it. Now, before we spend any energy feeling bad about that, here's the good news. And now, as soon as you decide what you really want to think about and have and focus on, the more that you put your consciousness on around what you want, the more that will be what you attract. So when I wasn't prosperous, what was I focusing on? Oh my gosh, we have no money. How are we going to pay for the car? What if a car breaks? There's no way to get to work. I don't know what to do. Maybe I could take another job at night. Hundreds of stories like that. When I changed and started to say, you know what, I'm going to feel more wealthy. And I started to feel more wealthy about small things. We have a little bit of money. I have a great husband. I'm fortunate I do have a car. Actually, while I didn't enjoy my job, hey, they were giving me a paycheck every 2 weeks. That's really cool. And so I started to think more and more about the what is working and what is prosperous now. And my tip here that I want people to get is radiate what you desire. That means think about what you desire, feel what you desire, and spend more time living as if. Act as if. I'll give you one more example, Velma. When I work with new coaches, this is one of my favorite exercises with them. There's very little difference, and sometimes they don't believe this because they have low confidence, but there's very, very little difference in their coaching abilities versus the coaching abilities that I had at the same time in the same amount of coach training. It's like we're at the same par, and they'll go, oh, no, when you had just a little bit of coach training, you probably were doing so much better than me. Like, no, hello, I wasn't. Can put you back with clients who suffered through me 6 years ago. I wasn't. Here's the difference. I acted as if I am going to be a great coach. I know that I am. My clients are going to love me. I'm going to love my clients. I'm going to have lots of clients. I'm going to be one of the best coaches in the world. I'm going to make more money at coaching than I've made at anything else, and I'm going to be able to afford to send people to college as scholarships. Oh, my gosh. That's the difference. I acted as if and believed as if. What I find is most people new, not just in coaching, but any other business, have stories like, I'm not sure what I'm doing yet. Maybe I shouldn't even charge people. I'm never going to get any clients. I'm not going to do well as this. We can go on and on. That's what I'm asking people to leave this call with. Act as if. Talk to yourself in a new way. You reap what you sow, so begin to sow some new thoughts.
Great. So there's something that comes up for me for that, in that if I start, talking about these new thoughts that I want, I do end up getting that little self-talk in the background saying, well, you don't believe that.
Mm-hmm. And when you do, go to the bridge belief exercise.
Okay.
Good question. Go right to the bridge belief exercise. So believe something a little smaller. Does that make sense?
And then keep talking.
Yes, and keep on talking. Keep on talking. And by the way, when you're talking to other people, let's say I was brand new and I just opened the doors to my coaching business, and so did you, okay? And we have the same amount of training and really the same amount of skill. And you meet someone on the street and they go, hey, Velma, how's your coaching business going? And you go, well, I just started and, I don't have any clients yet. That's not an act as if. So if you met me, and by the way, this is a true story, if you met me right after I quit my job, I had one client. Now keep in mind that I'd left behind a very high six-figure position and was basically supporting my family, and now I have no income, nothing, zero. You met me in the grocery store and said, Terri, how's it going? I'd say, it's going great. I have an amazing client, unbelievable, and I know many more are going to be coming. And I really love what I'm doing. I know I made the right decision. Do you see the difference?
Mm-hmm.
I know you do.
That's
act as
difference.
if. Good.
Okay. In other words, appreciate what you do have.
Exactly. Be thankful. Be grateful. Notice what you do have. And feel good about it.
Right. Well, that pretty much wraps us up. We've got about 5 minutes left. Terri, did you have any other things any offers or any other important announcements or anything like that you wanted to put out there?
Yeah, thank you for asking. There's just a couple quick things that I would love to share with people. If you want to understand how you can self-coach and change your prosperity, and if you want to learn some of the skills that I'm sharing here, we have coaching kits that will actually teach you this stuff. It's self-study, and it's at Terri Levine, that's TerriLevine.com. And instead of just buying it off the website, I'm going to offer something really special here that I didn't know I was going to, but it's just coming out of my mouth. If you email me directly, which is Terri@TerriLevine.com, and you say, I was on the call, I will take $100 off any basic kit and $200 off any deluxe kit, just as a special bonus for you being here. And the last thing is I am actually doing a free, yes, 100% free telephone class on prosperity and how to make it big in your profession or your business when you begin on a shoestring or begin on a dime. And that is on, I have to always look at my dates, Monday, March the 8th from 1 to 2 Eastern, and it is on this exact same phone number, 603-318-0444. The PIN is 918#. It is free. It is a 60-minute training call. You can come at no cost. The only thing is the bridge only holds 500 people, and we're expecting way more, so call in a few minutes early, and you'll get more info there.
What was the date? Which Monday?
That is Monday, March the 8th, 1 to 2 Eastern.
8th. Okay,
Yes.
thank you.
You're welcome.
Well, I've got that one marked in my calendar.
Great. I'd love to have you there. Great.
Great. Well, I guess that about wraps it up. I want to thank everybody who showed up, even the shy ones. And Terri, thank you so much for coming and speaking with me today about abundance. I really appreciate your time, and I appreciate you.
Thank you. Same here. And thanks for the great questions, Selma. They were awesome. Have a great
Everybody
day, everybody.
Have an awesome, abundant day.
Bye now.
Bye.